Yo guys, what's up? Welcome to another Warframe video. It's Gaz. And yeah, we got no info on Railjack balance today. JK, we did. We got some info on that Railjack balance, but not too much of it. So I'm going to give you what we got right now. I'm also going to give you a really fast Wisp build for hunting that Sentient Anomaly rare box, because I've had a lot of people ask me what I'm running for that. They get pretty fast runs, and I'm basically running max speed Wisp. So while we're going over the gameplay of that sentient ship, and I'm showing how fast this build can be, by the way, Umbral Vitality, you can replace that with Lightning Dash, and you can put Normal Intensify instead of Umbral Intensify, and you're good to go. You could even switch the Arcanes for like the ones that make you go faster when you get damaged, but hopefully you're not getting damaged while you're in the ship, because you have like small amounts of tank stats here, so you're probably going to get killed pretty fast. So you got to make sure you're going max speed. Also, there's some of those like secret walls you can't open with all the amp parts. So I'm using a 477 amp, and I have only had a problem not being able to break a wall once, and that's when I was the client. So it might be a host versus client thing, but then again, those people in that squad could not break that wall either, so there might just be a bug where sometimes the sentient wall is invincible. Okay, now we've shown the Wisp build. Let's show the small amount of information we have on Railjack balance in the near future. So, by the way, guys, this is another reference to my previous video for this whole sentient ship thing. I'm just showing like how I'm doing it nowadays, because that's like the most of the new gameplay I'm doing. So, this is DE Marcus, who seems like a really well-spoken person. First off, this is him on the forums. I was snooping around the forums yesterday, and I found that he responded to this like completely random thread with some good info. So I'm gonna be reading this off right now. So basically, this random thread he was on was about how to one-shot cruise ships in the Veil Proxima, and the guy in the post was saying you need to use Rhino and Equinox, and like this. There's apparently a mod for the forward artillery. I don't even use it. So yeah, he was basically giving out strats how to one-shot the cruise ships, and then people were like, "This isn't intended," blah blah blah. So then Marcus responds to this guy who says that the super good damage with Rhino is not intended, because it's not. He says, I'm going to read his response. This is a DE dev saying this stuff right here, guys. He's pinging at Mr. Fluffins. Priority number 1 for the coming weeks is Empyrean. We've been gathering feedback about the update, but one that stands out is a need to tackle weapon balance. The goal is to make your Railjack's weapon feel more impactful in every mission. As with all updates, we try to balance ahead of time as best as possible before launch. We want to improve from here. So they're saying right now that they've gotten lots of feedback on Railjack, but the biggest feedback point that they are focusing on right now, or at least that's what it seems like, is the weapon balance. People saying this Carsonox is taking like 50 bullets to kill this fighter. This Cryophon feels like the only thing that's worth using. Seeker Volley sucks at high levels. Like things of that nature. That's what they're latching onto right now, and that's good. Next paragraph. A few Warframe abilities unintentionally work on the Railjack ship, bringing a new meta for Warframe on the Railjack. So the weapons... bringing a meta Warframe to Railjack weapons is not a designed outcome we intended. For example, Chroma does not work. That's a good point. If they wanted to make the things work on the ship, they should have made everything work on the ship. So that does not seem like it was intended. Our goal is to balance so that players don't feel they need to use Rhino's Roar. Railjack weapons should feel powerful on their own, and right now they don't. A main reason for this is the enemy armor values are extremely high. On Dev, we have halved all armor values for fighters to test that, and we'll send it out if it feels better. Okay guys, so they are currently testing halving the armor of all the fighters in the Railjack missions. That's going to make things a lot faster. And it's going to make those fighters get one-shot by the Cryophon pretty much unconditionally. So, yeah, it also might make Seeker Volley kind of viable at high levels. Probably not, but maybe. You're not going to have the Rhino value anymore, because they'll definitely be removing that whenever that next hotfix goes out. The final paragraph here. Empyrean is still in its early stages. Long-term, we look forward to further updates with new content, including the Command Intrinsic class and more. Expect balance across the board in the near future. Okay, so that's what he said. He did a very good job of writing that out. I definitely feel like DE is listening to us in that regard. He's saying, like, we're not saying that the Rhino frame is the problem. We're saying the weapons are the problem, and that's kind of how I feel too. I wouldn't be using Rhino Roar and Seeker Volley if it actually did viable damage with how cool it looks. I wanted to use the ability because it looked cool, but it didn't do enough damage to be viable. So they are acknowledging that, and honestly, enemy armor is a big issue. I haven't noticed it as much with the fighters, but if they remove half the armor from these fighters, guys, you're not going to be using. You're not going to be needing to use the Singus slash procs to cheese it. I guarantee if they remove half the armor, we're going to be able to have crit viable in those Railjack missions, because the values are just like too low right now. But if they have that armor, your Empyrean or Vandals probably be able to mow through an entire fleet of enemies in like one magazine, with a Riven, of course. Additionally, they said, like, honestly, if they remove, all they said is they're going to have the enemy armor and nerf Rhino. That's all that you can really extrapolate from that quote right there. So, but he did say they will be doing more stuff in the future too. So those changes basically would make it where crit arc guns are more viable, and then it might make the hit scan Railjack guns like the Photor and the Phazon, I think is the other one. No, Phazon's line for Metroid. There's another one, Pulsar, that's what it's called. Those hit scan guns might become a lot more viable because with the enemy armor, you're going to be able to insta-kill that ship, and those things are really easy to hit with, from what I remember. The Cryophon will still be the king, most likely, unless I nerf the Cryophon. And yeah, I am actually pretty happy with those changes, because the way that they're looking at it, it's like, it's not the meta that's formed that's the problem, it's the game mode itself, and the weapons itself that are the problem. That is exactly what we want to hear, and that gives me hope for the future. If they were just about to be like, just nerf Rhino, yeah, that's basically it. Like, there's no way they would have done that. But honestly, armor, they already know that armor is the root issue on like most scaling in Warframe. So we get a high level fighter, it might have like a ton of armor in the background. It obviously does, since they're having it. Like, literally not just 20%, not 30%. No, we're cutting that armor in half. So there's potential, guys. Like, that's not my main problem with Railjack right now. My main problem with Railjack is this farm right here. But this farm that I'm doing right now is not required at all, in the slightest. You don't need a Sentient Ephemera. You don't need it in the slightest. I want it really badly, and I pretty much need it because aesthetically, it's like my favorite thing that I've seen so far. I don't need to change the color. Look at my Wisp right now. I got a dark, like, bleeding darkness ephemera right now. That's the kind of stuff I'm looking for, and the fact that you can't change the colors from, like, complete darkness is good with me. I'm down for it, so I'm still going to farm it. Maybe increase that rare crate spawn chance to, like, 5%, because right now we're, like, 1 or 2%. Someone said 2%, and they're like, that's the actual number. That's like the concrete actual number. I don't know if I believe that one, but hey, I'll believe it. I still have done like 50 plus runs and not seen a single box, so yeah. The only boxes I've seen were found on accident, or somebody else invited me to this squad. So yeah. Also, by the way, guys, I've been seeing that there is a kind of toxic meta for doing this farm right here, where people are inviting more, they're trying to get a team of more than 3 people, not including themselves, and screwing somebody out of the ephemera if they get it. Please don't do that, guys. What I'm trying to say is, like, when you're doing this farm, you're split farming, you pick 3 other people. Those are the people you will invite if they, those are the other people you're farming with and the other people you'll invite if you find a box. If you're getting more than 3 people doing this, you're screwing somebody out of it, and that's not very nice. At the end of the day, like, if they want to invite, you can invite whoever you want. It's your life, your game that you're playing. But still, like, let's have a little bit of kindness towards each other at the beginning of 2020, because the world definitely needs it right now, guys. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time. Pretty much, he didn't say when they'll be updating this. He said over the next couple of weeks, they're going to be, priority number 1 over the next coming weeks is Empyrean. So there will be weeks of hot fixes on this. That's good. Hopefully we get the armor reduction. You know, I'm not in any rush to get the armor reduction. You know, just work on hot fixes, D, get all that good stuff going. And yeah, hopefully MR30 is, like, soon. Do you think, here's a question for the comment section, guys. Do you think they're going to add MR40? Because now we have those Kuva weapons and the Paracesis that goes to level 40. They could add the MR40 in the future. I mean, it's not like they're going to stop at MR30, which is relatively close, honestly. That's why people are, like, grinding out the rank 10 intrinsics like crazy, is because of, like, I need this mastery rank so I can hit MR29, and MR30 is past that, so if it went to MR40, we would be here for years and years, but we'll see what goes on with that. If you guys found this video helpful, I'll talk to you again soon. I know this is like kind of like a rehash of the previous video, but we mostly went over the balance of Railjack here and some possible changes coming in the future. So, yeah, this speed Wisp build is good to go. And honestly, if you brought a Volt with you as well, you'd be probably going too fast to control yourself. So, teams of 2 aborting from the map and reloading could be good as well. I have not personally tried that. I've been doing solo for the most part. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.